I wanted to bring you on, obviously, to talk about Worlds. It's so 15th of June. Is that correct, in Sacramento?
You put me on the spot.
I think it is.
If you hear this noise. Yes, it is the Elos. I can't remember.
I'll tell you what. It's the 15th, 15th to 20th, I think. Yes. I wanted to ask. There's a couple of names. Travis Ortman is in there, and personally, I love Travis, and I understand the story that he's gone through. I'm pleased to see him get an invite. I think. What
would you do if you've got 25 guys who need to go to World's Strongest Man again? Obviously, Giants Live kicks in, and we're going to go wild if it all happens. We've got like 6 arena shows in Britain, one after the other. I say 6 because we're working with Ed and Arnold and doing the Arnold Expo UK as well. So before December, from July to December, it's going to go mad. But we couldn't get anything in. It was impossible. It would have been totally against the law. We simply couldn't do it.
Sure.
Couldn't even do an outdoor show. So I apologize. First of all, let me apologize to every athlete out there who is in the running, who should be in the running, who should be getting a phone call, should be getting a shot at the title, should be getting a crack at the whip. I apologize to you. To the athletes who, because it's hard, a lot of conversations are going on, a lot of conversations haven't been had, a lot of hearsay going on. Let me just say this to everybody who qualified last year and competed last year but didn't get invited back again. To you guys, all I can say is you must understand we have to have some new blood come through. We can't just do an identical show, or we might as well just rerun 2020. There has to be a shot for the new men. And if you didn't quite perform, then that's why. That's why. It's as simple as that. If you didn't quite absolutely nail it, So those who did do pretty well, who were the finalists, didn't get invited back. Martin's Lisses, of course, was invited back. Kiliszkowski was, of course, invited again.
Well, unfortunately, those two guys still injured. A real shame because, obviously Lisses winning a couple of years ago. Since then, he's kind of, been suffering with injuries. Then Kiliszkowski, who everyone talks about as a future World's Strongest Man winner, he's had a lot of bad luck with injuries and then surgeries that have gone wrong and had to, get opened up again. I was actually glad to see. Yeah, I was actually glad to see he's been smart and not taken his invite, because obviously those guys got invited. I'm sure that goes without saying.
Yes, don't be so sure he didn't want it. He's that man. He's like a Terminator who will not stop.
Yeah.
He will not stop until he gets. And it was difficult because you can't. He was. If you look at it, and once the sort of Hapthor went, Lisses went, who else could win?
Yeah,
but Kiliszkowski last year, it was his title to win.
Out of all the, I was going to go through the athletes, and most of them are pretty similar to last year. But the one I wanted to bring up is Irving Toots, because Irving qualified, he came third at Europe's Strongest Man last year, and I appreciate the selectors are in an awkward position. No contests have happened, but every single top 3 at Giants Live is there. So I wanted to ask you myself.
Yeah, why. I mean. As we explained it to Irvin, because Irvin only managed to do one event badly last year at Worlds, and he was injured, we think, beforehand, and then he went and tore his quad, and actually he had a bit of ACL and quad. I don't know if any people had been watching the Champions League, but he fell over with a stone lift, passed out, and his ACL snapped. We're talking like 6-8 weeks beforehand, I think. He was a tough guy even trying it.
Yeah.
And I think he's one of these guys who's like counting his calendar, nervous that he's not going to achieve his dream in life. And, a lot of young men are like that. They'll give me it now. I need it now, because they're terrified they're going to miss their opportunity. And, sometimes we do decisions, if it looks like it's against, sometimes it's for, if that sounds strange. It comes around every year again, as you know. It's like it's kind of like Christmas. You have World's Strongest Man again, and therefore, that's why I was so impressed with Lisses actually. But Lisses has won the big one, and he phoned me up so kind of like, Colin, I'm doing stem cell therapy now. I have to behave and get it to stick, or I'll be messed for the rest of my life. Kiedraskowski hasn't quite won it yet, so it kills him. Yeah. And someone like Toots, who's just getting into it, he's desperate to impress and show what he can do. He turns up and he's there's no other way of saying it, but he just didn't do anything. Poor guy. So Europe's Strongest Man was September. World's Strongest Man was November. What do we have to gauge on after World's Strongest Man for Irving Toots that screams, I deserve to be there. I'm super healthy. I'm a bull again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then there's a big argument then for a lot of athletes. We could
Absolutely. There's that. But if what we're doing there is weighing up injury and has he truly recovered? Well, he did go to that Worcester contest and didn't perform amazingly. Therefore, sure, these are just facts. So I don't mean I feel a bit public about this, but just so everybody knows, by the way, there's a group of us.
Yeah,
Magnus Fair Magnusson, Darren Sandler, Gregor Edmonds, myself, and someone from the IMG. We chair a meeting, and we go over it, and we pros and cons, and we argue, we discuss. And that's really exactly how it works. And with the best intentions, Irving Toots is going as a reserve, might I add.
Good.
The idea being, don't put the pressure on him.
Sure.
And maybe he will get in if others get injured, but he's not. Just take it easy, Irving. We want to go there and learn more experience. At worst, you're a tourist.
You're the one that's probably in the awkward position where you have to speak to a lot of these athletes. Which
I ask you this: people like Wes Claiborne, guys like that. So many good Americans. Wes, I haven't picked up the phone to you. I'm sorry, because I don't have the heart to. Because you must be heartbroken. He was a reserve last year. He's kicking ass. There's lots of guys like that. So, I've never had such a slew of great Americans. And, we haven't had a Britain's Strongest Man for Zaki from Scotland, and, Ben Brunning to show his worth to come back again. Ben was second to the World Tour Finals. He's getting back in shape a bit more. So,
well, I've said this. I've said a lot of times. There's 100 guys that are now good enough to compete at World's Strongest Man. That's a fact. That if they turned up, they wouldn't show themselves up. They're good enough. Whether they're good enough to win is a completely different argument. But there's so many good guys now. It must be an extremely hard job.
The moment I saw Irving Toots and I saw him compete, and a cocky smile, and came over and chatted to me at Official Strongman Europe's, I thought, you're going to be a star, mate. And I said that to him the other day on the phone. I really want you to be a star. I want everyone to be a star and a chance to shine. Who else? Is anyone else controversial? I'm feeling it. I'm ready for our usual argument, Loz. Come on then, mate.
There's plenty of controversial ones. It's World's Strongest Man. Like this. Travis would be a controversial one because
Travis Ortmar.
But I've got a soft spot for Travis. I love the fact that he's there. Obviously, I know his backstory, which I think if you know his backstory, I don't think anyone's going to be upset that he's there. And I think the reason I brought up Irving is because of the Giants Live being the official qualifier. We all know there are invites to World's Strongest Man or wild cards, whatever you want to call them. The reason I brought up Irving was because I know he did the Europes last year.
I mean, Europe's Strongest Man was the preceding show to World's Strongest Man last year. It's just come around like 7 months again later without any other shows. So in reality, what would have been nice would have been to have Europe's Strongest Man in April.
Sure.
Irving to compete at that and show his worth.
That's
what should be what's happening.
That's hopefully what's going to happen next year. We've got all these exciting shows to look forward to. New athletes are going to
What happens if you come top 3? You realise you'll get a golden ticket.
Let's take it one step at a time. Like I promised you I can finish a show. Let's start at that.
I push you into top 6 now. Anyway.
Top 6. That would be nice. While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.